Tekplanit Enterprise Intelligence Systems. Within this platform, we have the use case map planner. So what this allows us to do is break into each customer's workspace, start understanding and assigning what models are doing for what function within each of the models. So as you can see, I've already started pre-assigning some of my models. I can edit it if I need to reassign it, if it didn't get into the right bucket. So if I'm like, my CapEx is actually FP&A, save that, boom. Now I've got my models basically identified in different functional areas, so I can start looking at what my models are doing and what use cases have I actually started to plan for within my workspace. And then any of my unassigned models, I can assign them. So anything that's really core business requirement, really doing what is required for my business, that allows me to be able to functionally assign these so I know what it's doing functionally across my ecosystem. And then from there, what we can do is do use case planning. So anything from a new use case, we're also looking at, hey, what do we have from overall current products within Anaplan, and what are some of our gaps within that area, and which things that we can go and assess to add additional use cases within your actual workspace as well. So here we've got deciding like quick idea roadmap items that you can quickly plan for, or we can go and generate it from a different assistant, or we can even ask the assistant to be like, hey, what are some ideas? So this kind of keeps that agentic AI feeling where we're actually helping them design what type of use cases that they should be generating, and giving them help, that intelligence to design some use cases from scratch if they've already got a really robust area of expertise, right? Or they need to do some new use cases out of the box as well. So here's just a section of like, quick wins that we can do. You can start planning for it. Or, the next build momentum that are more medium effort and complex versus like high effort. And of course, these can be changed and adapted when we see of how these use cases we see as we deploy them. Which ones could be Anaplan app focus? We can position the Anaplan apps as some of the position pieces of when there's gaps in certain Anaplan use cases. So as I just do one of these, I'm just going to add to the plan. I'll add it to the FP&A category. I'm just going to say, add a couple of additional list members in here and some additional modules. We'll make it 50 or 15. And boom. Now that added it to our FP&A workspace. How many are planned, how many are in plan, how many are ready to start. And so then you can start looking at what that workspace size is going to entail. And of course, you can start editing that estimated size based on those assumptions that we made. High level, everything's high level, just giving some idea, rough points, so customers can be a little smarter in terms of how they design and plan their different workspaces and what workspace, how much they've allocated already within their space. So as I go back into my use case planner, I can even go into sizing calculator. So I have that quick ability to even size models, whether they're Polaris or non-Polaris models. So as I click on the switch, I can just do even an advanced set of planning. So if I want to do module-based planning and I want to design each different module, I can do that within here. Or here I can just do a quick estimate, based on this. Let's add different 100 modules, list members, and we'll calculate the size. Maybe we add an additional, 14 dimensions, and boom, and it'll start sizing. If we want to do a large workforce, we can do boom. We add additional list members because we're planning for more employees. Boom. So then we know exactly how much that size is. And it's a general estimate. And of course, I think there's some tweaking we can definitely make to make it more perfected. And this is Polaris based. We got 40% sparsity. Now let's say we're only 90% sparse, right? So let's just go to 90%. You can kind of see the impact once I click calculate resize, right? So if we're really sparse, it can help us. Versus if we're more 40%, it's going to be a little more higher. As soon as we take off Polaris, you can just do some additional sizing. You can kind of see where, if you don't have Polaris, where that, sparsity kind of helps in that play here. Now, as I go back within here, I can then go into my capacity planning and start planning my capacity based on those new use cases that I started planning for. So here I've got the ability to start looking at, hey, these are my different capacity alerts. What's my current usage? What is my projected growth, right? So depending on what my current trends are, because we're monitoring all these different workspaces here as well. So a little key component is we're monitoring all these workspaces and models that we can then forecast what growth they have, so we can assume some of those capacity thresholds on top of the expectations of new use cases. And so then we can start looking through how we can see different use cases and how it applies. And then we've got purchase recommendations where then, the customer will already know to self-service to go purchase it more space through you guys or through Anaplan and know directly with the AE. So you guys can get alerted and we'll be all in check of, the customer needs here. So this is the use case planner that I've built within the Tekplanit Enterprise platform. Let me know if you have any questions.
Schedule a demo today at info@tekplanit.com.